How's it going, everybody? It's the Digital Little Fox here. It's my channel where I talk about anime, video games, cartoons, and I am live, as you can see. So I'm not gonna be talking all loudly or anything. So this is probably gonna be the volume you'll hear me. You'll hear me because like my family's here and all that stuff. So I don't want to like talk out loud like I'm talking to myself or whatever. Even though I am talking to the people, but and I don't want to But anyways, if they come down, I'll probably like mute myself and then I'll probably unmute myself or whatever until they finish doing whatever they want. But for right now, yeah, I'm here for a minute. Wanted to do some reactions and stuff, kind of give an update and all that stuff. Oh, SSJ, what's happening? Yeah, you saw the title of this. You know what I was gonna do. Well, I already told you anyways. Like a couple of days ago about the whole nerd culture thing. But yeah, so for the uninitiated, basically this stream is titled "Nerd Culture is Ignorant." X-Men wasn't based on civil rights, and is exactly what you mean. So if you remember one of my little internet rivals, Paul Officer, Nerd Culture is Toxic. Basically, we kind of have a back and forth thing kind of going on. I don't hate the guy or anything. He's all right. He's a whole weirdo though. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he did a live stream a couple of days ago himself, and I kind of just tuned in when I was like at work and all that stuff. But I'll explain more of the details later. But I'm gonna share this around and talk about a few other stuff before I get into the meat and gritty about it. So yeah, tell me how your days have been. How's it going, SSJ? Like, how's your day been so far? Ashes, what's going on, man? Oh, is it really a stream? Am I still dreaming? I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad you really show up for my streams and stuff. But no, it's not a dream. But yeah. So let me try to share this around real quick. Hang on. Copy link. Prince of Geeks, how's it going? My day's been okay, and yours? I've been editing videos. Nice. Yeah, pretty smooth and stuff. I mean, I had the day off since it's, the weekend and all that. I was working like crazy yesterday, on Friday for Valentine's Day. Yeah. Like it seems like, yeah, like fast food places like where I work at Dunkin' Donuts, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, they were packed, man. Like, oh my God. Like the lines and everything, the drive-throughs. Well, luckily at my thing, I don't have a drive-through, but still it was just, yeah, I did morning shift. I was like working from like 7, and originally I was supposed to leave at 1, but then my boss wanted me to stay to 2, so I was like whatever. And then I kind of offered to stay a little bit longer, I guess. Which, I mean, honestly, she was kind of there a lot longer. She was like probably there at like 5 or whatever, 6, and then yeah, so she left at 2. So I was like, all right. I mean, I can stick around for an extra hour and get some of this money. And then after that, if you guys saw a Dazzling Kate stream, I kind of made an appearance on there for like the first 30 something minutes. So that was pretty nice. What's up, man? Oh yeah, and by the way, SSJ, I did see your video with the Captain America Brave New World thing. Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, I didn't watch the movie obviously, but I saw your video. What's up, man? It's a reaction, man. Just different name. Been a while. Oh, it's been a while. I was kind of, well, not like that, but I was low key kind of thinking about you. I was like, man, wonder how he's doing. You saw a Captain America movie? I'm nervous for it. I was also gonna talk about that too before I talk about this little intro right here. Let me share this around real quick. I know I'm a little distracted because I'm trying to read the chat and keep up with you guys and also do this. Hang on. But yeah, I kind of just finished up rewatching this old show and stuff called Kenichi History is Mighty Disciple. and stuff. It was a really good series and whatnot, good old martial arts type of thing, and with like a little superhuman elements and stuff added to it. That's my cup of tea, you know, because I'm a shonen head myself. I just returned from the comic section. People are still pointing knives at each other. The moment the freedom fighters are slightly mentioned. Yeah, I actually had an idea for a short about that. It's going to be a little controversial, but of an opinion, but it is what it is. Let's see. Okay, I think I shared everything. But anyways, yeah, but I'll probably save that for another time. Let's see. I feel that it's good to have the weekend off. You got Monday off too. Maybe not. I don't know. It might be. I might have to work either Monday or Tuesday or something like that. It's kind of a sort of a part-time job, but still. But man, I appreciate it. I was excited for Red Hulk, but he should have been in the actual Hulk film. Yeah, yeah, they really should have pitted Hulk versus like Red Hulk and all that stuff. But I just feel like they just took him and put him inside the little Captain America movie or Falcon, really, as I call it, because look, I like Falcon and stuff. I think he's a cool character, even in the movies and stuff, right? But he's not Captain America. We all know that, okay? He was his own. He was fine as his own character as Falcon. He's been like that from like the freaking '60s and stuff, right? Should have just stayed like that and just focus on his own stuff. Hang on one second. All right, I am back. Okay, so let's see. Yes, as I was saying though, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Falcon and stuff. But I'm like, but Captain America, I'm like, no, he's better as his own kind of character. You know what I mean? And it just seems like they just threw in Red Hulk in there to kind of like push more of the fact that well, it was just fan service, really. So I wasn't really shocked by nothing. The movie almost made me turn into the Red Hulk. Ouch. I wouldn't blame you, bro. Good thing I have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man to binge now instead of watching that Creeping Abomination. I mean, to be honest with you, Ashes, they're both terrible in my opinion. But I mean, but that does remind me. I have been actually watching Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Man, that is a terrible show. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't have any high expectations for it, and I never went into any high expectations for it. I knew it was going to be bad, but I was like, oh man, this is going to be funny, like just to make fun of and stuff, you know. What's happening, Ruby King, man? How you doing tonight? Hope your nights and well, your days all like going good and all that stuff in your weekend. Do you like Sam Wilson, Captain America? I mean, I like him as Falcon, but Captain America, no. I'm like, because my thing is like, look, Falcon, he's already his own character. It's kind of like Dick Grayson, right? Where he went from Robin to Nightwing, and Nightwing is who he is cemented in his identity. And of course, there have been times where Nightwing has taken on the identity as like Batman, right? And that's not to say that he doesn't make a good hero or he doesn't make a good Batman, but Nightwing is his identity and who he is. So I'd rather see him as himself than just see him be somebody else or be in the shadow of Batman. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with Falcon, where I'm like, yeah, I'd rather see him as his own character and learn more about him than him just being, well, he's just the Black Captain America, basically. Like it's so dumb, you know. Anyways, based on what I've seen, Sam can't even beat Daredevil in a fight. I mean, Daredevil, he's no amateur. We all know that. But well, if we're talking like if Falcon got the wings and all that stuff, I mean, he can put up a decent fight against Daredevil. But if we're talking like a straight up hand to hand, of course, no. I mean, I think Falcon's like has decent hand to hand skills, given that he's Captain America's partner and everything. But because Captain America has trained a lot of people that he's close with, whether it be like Scarlet Witch. Who else has he trained? I know he's trained Scarlet Witch. He trained Iron Man, and I think back when Spider Man was a part of the New Avengers, he even trained Mary Jane to kind of like some self defense stuff. So like if your average mugger tries to come up to them, they can at least handle themselves, but not they're not doing anything like ridiculously crazy. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. Friendly neighborhood is pandering woke trash. Yeah, it is just stupid in my opinion. I don't know about pandering, but yeah, but all that race swap and stuff, yeah, it is just it's completely dumb. And the crazy thing is, I've been actually reading Spider-Man comics. I've been reading the I finished up the Steve Ditko thing not too long ago, and I've been reading the John Romita, not for the sake of the show, but just because. Um, and man, I like the comics and this Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show that is trying to model itself after the '60s comics is nothing like the comics itself. I'm like, this is literally just the MCU or a what if of what if Peter didn't go with Tony for Civil War or whatever, because a lot of the stuff. And honestly, I'm just like, why don't you just make it a sequel to Spider-Man No Way Home, where it's set in Peter's college life and stuff like that, or focus on the MCU version of Miles Morales. That's where I stand on that. But just make this a alternative, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work for me. Disagree, but I respect your opinion. To me, it's similar to Spectacular Spider-Man, even though it's obviously not on that same level of quality. I mean, if anything, I'll compare it to the MTV Spider-Man. But even then, the MTV Spider-Man, I mean, it had better fight choreography and better music than Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But that's just me, though. Disagree. It's nothing like Spectacular Spider-Man. I love Spectacular. Yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man has some like good action and everything, and good storytelling. What about Miles Spider-Man? Yeah, I like Miles too. But the thing is, like with Miles compared to like Falcon, is that like Miles is supposed to be an adjacent character to Peter Parker, where he got the powers and everything, and he was created in the 2000s. Falcon's been around for almost like 60 years as a character. So to make him like, oh well, he's just a Black Captain America is just kind of disrespectful to him as a character and the creators and stuff. That'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's take T'Challa, who's known as being Black Panther, and let's make him like, I don't know, the next Spider-Man or something, you know? And it's like, but he was already his own character as Black Panther, you know? It's an alternate version of Tom Holland's. Yeah, I know. It's exactly. And it's just like, yeah, it's like it's so dumb. I'm like, you might like there because originally I think they planned on making this show kind of like some kind of like, well, it's like the first couple of months before he met Tony Stark from the MCU, but then they decided to just make it a alternative, and I'm just like, that is so dumb. Just might as well have just made it like in the same continuity. Just it just takes place a little bit later after No Way Home. But I know I already said that. All right, Now that I got that out of the way, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of TMNT real quick and Dragon Ball Daima, and then I'm gonna jump into that video about nerd culture. So, I just saw some screenshots, I think the other day, about the Super Saiyan 4 from Dragon Ball Daima. And at first, when I saw that screenshot, because I haven't been keeping up with Dragon Ball Daima for a bit, I saw like, I think like 9 episodes. It's been a while since I've watched it, and it's already on episode 18. But that Super Saiyan 4 transformation, they have like Kid Goku and stuff going Super Saiyan 4 and Dragon Ball Daima. I'm just like, man, I mean, that's breaking a lot of lore, especially since Dragon Ball Daima is set before Dragon Ball Super and the 10-year time skip and all that stuff. And it's like, wait, so if Goku has all these forms and stuff, why is he not using this? You know what I mean? Or, yeah, but I'm not going to lie. When I first saw this, and it's funny that a lot of people didn't, I don't see a lot of people point this out, but I'm like, this transformation, honestly, for a second, I really thought this was like a kid Gogeta from Dragon Ball GT, like the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I'm like, this is exactly what it looks like with the red hair and all that stuff. The only thing that's just missing is just the fusion jacket and the blue belt or whatever, but that's about it. So, yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know why they did that. Let's see. But yeah, I'm just like, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 is one of my favorite Dragon Ball transformations and stuff. It's a cool form, but it's just like, yeah, it's a little bit out of place. Like, okay, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff already in Dragon Ball Daima that I'm just not really a huge fan of. That I might talk about. Like, I might make this like a separate video or something like that. But like, for example, like Goku's power pole, right? The magic staff that he got from his grandpa. One of the things that I didn't like was that Goku literally forgot where it was, and he gave it to Master Roshi, and Master Roshi was just using it to hang laundry. I'm like, Goku, your prized possession that your grandpa gave you, and you gave it to Master Roshi where he's using it to hang laundry. I'm like, man, that is so disrespectful to Grandpa Gohan and Dragon Ball in itself. Because originally, he gave it to Gohan and all that stuff. But I'm going a little bit too much in depth. And then as far as Team NT goes, I'll be brief on this one. I'm only sticking with the Naruto crossover right now for Team NT and the Turtles of Grayskull, the He-Man crossover for right now. As far as the Last Ronin goes, or Re-Evolution, I mean, it's not bad, but I'm just like, all right, it's kind of getting a little bit saturated or a little bit like, well, I might as well just read this online or something because it's just not worth buying right now because I'm just like, I'm not impressed by this issue. So I'm kind of feel like I'm wasting my time. Same thing with like Mutant Nation and stuff, or yeah, although don't get me, or the relaunch, which I mean, I'll get to those when I get to it, but it's just like, it's a little dry and I just don't feel like really it's, going anywhere for me. I remember they made Dr. Connors a female. I know it's a different universe, but yeah, that was dumb that they made Dr. Connors into a black female, even though technically Dr. Connors is already a diverse character because, he's an amputee. Because in the comics, Dr. Connors lost his arm because he was a field nurse or a field doctor or something. And I think there was like an attack or whatever during like a war, and he lost his arm from that. So that's why he was, missing an arm and all that stuff. I'll make a video addressing Daima. I haven't cared yet. Yeah, I know. I just haven't cared to continue to keep watching the show, but I don't know. I need to hold myself to watching it and stuff, which is crazy because I've been watching Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest more so than Dragon Ball Daima, and I like Fairy Tail, of course, but I'm just like, yeah. Although I don't know if they're still continuing right now or they're on a hiatus or something, but yeah. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with the show being some of the MCU Spider-Man. It's like hating Spectacular Spider-Man for having Raimi movie references. I mean, maybe, but I mean, pretty much the foundation of like this new Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man thing is based on like the MCU and the 60s Spider-Man. So it's like an amalgamation of that, but it's so lame. And yeah, I don't know. I do have thoughts on making a video about that too. But anyways, enough about that. I know I've been rambling for almost 20 minutes, but let me get into this video with nerd culture. That's what I really wanted to do tonight because, it's pretty fun. So, yeah. I think Nickelodeon and VidCom should start practicing different TMNT versions simultaneously. I understand the expense, but it's a good way to gather all the age groups. Possibly. All right, let's get into it. All right, ladies, this is going to be hilarious. Like I said, I've been finishing watching Kenichi. I'm watching the first series for the first time. Now I'm a little bit late on the Digimon game, even though I still watch Digimon. Uh, I'm getting a good kind of. Huh. Let me check my phone real quick. I wonder if it's sharing or not. All right, it looks like okay. Never mind. There it is. My bad.
Up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm this information is true. Always. Uh,
All right. Context again, like I said, this is like I think Wednesday, and I was kind of working like the night shift and stuff. So I was working at the time when he made the stream. So I figured, I was between watching like Mugen Lord stream, and then I was like, oh well, why not check out Nerd Culture and stuff, see what he's talking about and stuff. And I wasn't even gonna like really respond or anything. Or I was like, well, let's hear him out and see what he has to say. And then he said that, and I was like, bro, the first thing he said was like, oh my god, nothing wrong with the MCU Spider-Man. They just made it woke race swap characters for no reason. Exactly. Like, what was the purpose of race swapping Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn to be black? And Spider-Man already has characters like Randy Robertson or Robbie Robertson and stuff, that they could easily use right there. And then I didn't like how like everybody was figuring. It's like even if it's like a camera or something like that, the, Peter should at least know that like his spider senses should at least pick up that, oh, I'm probably being filmed or something, or somebody's in the area of finding out my secret identity. So I should probably move somewhere else and change somewhere else where nobody can see me. Like, come on. Or when Harry was in that room and he didn't know, and I'm like, bro, his spider senses literally would just tell him right then and there that somebody else is in the room and he probably shouldn't take off his mask. Like, again, these people don't know nothing about writing Spider-Man. I'm just telling you.
Based off Martin Luther King. I don't care what nobody said. I don't care what Coon or Uncle Tom. Just the industry, movies, books. A lot of industries would copy off of Black urban stories and switch the characters white, and this is what we get. But anyways,
Sorry about that. I'm back now. I know. I mean, this is from my computer, so you guys know what you're getting yourselves into. So it's gonna happen a couple of times. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I tried because I restarted my computer before even the stream and all that stuff. Yeah. Let's see. I saw which called Reaction Man, Prince of Geeks, say something. I stopped watching Paul after he said female superheroes should stay in their place. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Paul. I will say he is a bit of a sexist, man, and I don't really go around throwing that word a lot, but I gotta say your boy is a sexist, chauvinist, everything. He does not really like, or he likes female superheroes, but he feels like, well, even when a female superhero, like let's say, I don't know, Wonder Woman, right? Oh well, Wonder Woman can't be a leader, or oh, Wonder Woman, she can't beat, let's say, Batman in a fight, even though she's a lot stronger and faster than Batman. She's fought Superman, like, well, not occasionally, but every now and then, or characters on that level. But okay, I'm not too fond of race swapping and gender swapping the existing characters either. But as long as characters are written good, I'm fine with anything. Yeah, I used to be like that, but I mean, after a while, it just gets annoying, and it's just like, all right, I'm tired of it now. Magneto, and Professor X aren't based off of Malcolm X. I mean, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, they weren't. I'm that too.
So, you know,
That's just I need to return to that brain. I will. So excited. I can't decide it. Sorry, it's buffering. Can't tell if you guys can hear or see it or not. Sorry about that. I don't know. It's of course the connection. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just like, of course, every time you got to disagree with him. You got to be an Uncle Tom, or he jumps right into name calling. Let's see. It's crazy how Omar is out of all people is enduring his bullshittery. Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Me, I just have to play with it. Again, Martin Luther King. Um, well, first off, Malcolm X. No, like Martin Luther King and Malcolm. Well, Professor X and Magneto were not based off of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. That is a fact. Okay, that's been disproved. Like that's been debunked, disproven. Everything. They are not based off of civil rights. The X Men is not based off of any of that stuff. Okay, Malcolm X, his entire philosophy or his mindset. Now, I will say that I'm not exactly the most knowledgeable when it comes to like Malcolm X's philosophy, but I think I understand the gist of it was that Malcolm X believed in like basically being more like that us as black people or our own race should be more self-sufficient or independent where we don't have to rely on like the government or other white people and stuff to take care of us, whereas Martin Luther King kind of wanted to integrate into society and stuff where everyone can coexist. Personally, myself, I'm kind of a little bit divided where I think they were both kind of right in some ways, where I don't see that, there's no problem being also self sufficient or independent and also coexisting alongside with, other people and stuff, I don't, yeah, but that's pretty much that. But Magneto is an extremist. He's a hypocrite. He's a mass murderer. Okay. He's not based off of Malcolm X. Okay, to say that would be like, oh, okay, well, you have a very cartoonish exaggeration, or Magneto is a cartoonish exaggeration of Malcolm X, if that's what you really think. Just saying. Sorry, it's buffering. I'm like, okay, okay. I really hope not. Man, prepare your ears because I did not expect that I would get this much of a rise out of him as much as I did in this live stream and stuff. Because I mean, look, I just left a comment, just said what I thought, and I was like, dude, I completely disagree. But don't get me wrong, I will answer some of the questions in the chat. Well, let me go to this real quick. Well, I might as well, take a minute. Since the Valentine's Day just happened, what are your favorite Marvel couples? I can't really say I have too many. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, there's a part of me that strongly has a very strong feeling about Spider-Man and Black Cat. I know Mary Jane is the end all be all, and she is Spider-Man's ultimate love interest in the end of the day. But I always loved like Spider-Man and Black Cat's like dynamic and stuff because of Spider-Man the animated series. And I thought Black Cat was a cool character and stuff. I love the chemistry between Christopher Barnes, who is to me the definitive Spider-Man voice, and Jennifer Hale and her her Black Cat voice. I'm like, yeah, they were perfect in my opinion. So I always love that. Um, Another Marvel couple that comes to mind, which a lot of people don't even talk about, is Hawkeye and his wife or ex-wife now, which is dumb. Is Hawkeye and Mockingbird. You know, another couple I think would be interesting is Ant-Man and Tigra, or maybe Tigra and Moon Knight. You know what I mean? Yeah, those are some ideas that I wanted to throw out there. I mean, they were based on civil rights, since Stan Lee said himself. No, he didn't say they were based on civil rights himself. I'm gonna get to that in a second, though, when I go in this video. I don't care for romance and comics stuff about Spidey and Black Cat. Thank you. It's just exactly. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I know I heard sometimes it can be toxic. That's why I'm going to revisit some of the comics and stuff, because I want to kind of like come to my own conclusion with that. But yeah, I kind of feel more so gravitating to Spider-Man and Black Cat more than anything, because I always love that kind of partner dynamic. But I must say, like, writers really hate the hell out of Mary Jane, which is unfair. And the thing is, do I really want Denzel Washington? No, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't really seen Denzel Washington in too much stuff, which I know that's a knock at me. But I think one of the movies I did see Denzel Washington in that I can definitely remember was Magnificent Seven. I think it was like a remake or something like that or whatever. I saw that a couple years ago with my dad when I was still in high school and stuff. It was a pretty good movie and stuff. It was a western. My dad loves westerns, but yeah, yeah. I remember Denzel was in that one. That was a good movie. Old Man and Goblin. That's a funny subject to bring up. I commented on one of his videos when he talked about that too. What do I think about the Denzel Washington like admitting that he kissed a man or whatever? I don't really mind it because look, there's context behind it because I actually watched if you guys watched like Young Don Reborn and stuff, or if you remember, yeah, Young Don, the Sauce God, now Young Don Reborn, he did a video explaining the whole Denzel Washington thing and all that stuff, and he was saying that in that time era or that time period that Denzel was playing in that movie, um, basically a kiss between two guys or two women or whatever would be considered something platonic. It's like a greeting and all that stuff from back in the day, but it's not anything that's like romantic or sexual or anything like that. It's just like, oh, just a simple greeting and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why. And obviously, Denzel being an actor, he's just committing to the role. It's not like, oh, he kissed a man and he enjoyed it. That's completely different. Okay. So I wanted to clarify that, but he was like, no, or whatever. But yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to show off SJ's comment that you put up right here. We might as well play this since I'm going to be here all night with this one. And if we cemented the fact that Magneto is supposed to be a white Jewish man, which is funny too because I was telling my coworker about and I told her about like I was showing her like when I was working that night. I was working with this girl and stuff, one of my coworkers, Anaya, and I was telling because she's like in her early 20s, like I'm like 25, about to be 26 in less than a month from now, next month, yeah. And this girl Anaya, she's like I think like 22, 23. She's not really into superheroes, obviously, because she's a girl. So I was telling her, like, I showed her this stream after Paul finished up and stuff, and she was like in this next couple of minutes when he was freaking out at that 6 minute mark. I showed Anaya this, and she was like, "Oh no," and I was telling her the context, and I was like, "So basically, me and him got into it because um, basically, he was like, he wants a black version of this villain, Magneto, and stuff. And I was explaining to her like who Magneto is, and I was like, so basically, Magneto is like this white Jewish man and all that stuff, and basically, he wants him to be black and all that stuff. And she was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, and on top of that, Magneto is supposed to be a Holocaust survivor too. I wish I would have told her that because that's hilarious. But yeah, he was a Holocaust survivor. So it doesn't make sense to make Magneto black and stuff. And I understand because we're getting further and further away from like the whole Holocaust and stuff, since that was like that's starting to be like over 100 years ago and stuff. But you can still have that story because if anyone's seen like I don't know X-Men Evolution and stuff, like Magneto was born during those days, but he was using like a form of like the super soldier serum to kind of rejuvenate himself to make himself a little bit more younger so he won't be all as old and decrepit. If you guys remember that, that was like that I think there was like an episode where Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Shadowcat, the three of them teamed up or something like that. And I guess they were fighting against Magneto or something like that. I remember Captain America was in a flashback or something, but that's yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could have done that, or they can do that going onwards and stuff versus just. But that's just me. I think he blocked me from his account from commenting, but I've seen yours in the Denzel kiss. He kissed that man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I saw you commented that too when you he was like yeah, because he mentioned that later in that stream. I stopped hating on Tom Holland after I saw him getting in the TV show. Being Paul, being him is mad an actor from doing job, even if they probably had no choice. I mean, they have a choice. They can always just say no and stuff, you know. But I mean, that Tom Holland thing. I mean, I choose to forget, but every time nerd culture talks about Tom Holland, he always has to bring that up in every conversation. I'm just like, yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. I kind of wanted to forget it. That's how they should use Magneto, like in X Men Evolution. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, X Men Evolution, they could do that because him and Professor X weren't exactly the same age in that show. Because I think Professor X was like middle age. He was probably like in his 40s or 50s or something, but Magneto was like at least in his 70s at that point. So, just saying. So when I just said that, I was again, I did not expect that reaction. I was like, oh, this just made like, and like this stream got like 100 something. I don't know if he's faking it or what. I'm not if he's really faking that or if he's just genuinely angry. Whatever. I know he likes race swaps or whatever, or at least when it comes to like, oh well, changing white people to black people. Person myself, you guys know where I stand on that. I don't like it, and I honestly feel like it's kind of disrespectful to like some heroes because every time you race swap, like let's say a white character to be black, there's always like room for like reducing a black character into the mix that was created specifically for that reason or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's dumb in my opinion. But anyways, yeah, so I brought up the whole multiverse thing because I'm like, well, if you're talking about like, well, there's a multiverse, so anyone can be black or whatever. Any white character can be black, and I'm like, okay, well, so by that logic, characters like Forge, Bishop, Storm, Bishop's sister, she's probably like white or some other nationality by that logic because it's a multiverse, right? But no, but they're established and they're very like well. So why would I want them to change around other characters and stuff? You know? The MCU and how they've been going about their black characters. Because I mean, I just literally did a short a couple of weeks ago, kind of explained that. And I'm kind of tempted to do another short too, actually, especially with the release of that new Falcon movie or Captain America 4, which again they should have just called it Falcon, but again, the disrespect to Falcon. But okay, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate race swaps. I'm black, but I want real ones to be shown, not race swaps. Exactly. Yeah, I got it. I know I have a feeling that yeah, you are black, SSJ. But I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I'm black too, obviously, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of race swaps. Like when I was younger, I was kind of like, hmm, this is weird. Isn't this character supposed to be white in this cartoon or black here or whatever? But as I gotten older and the more they keep doubling down, like I didn't like I wouldn't even to this day, I probably wouldn't mind it. But the fact that they keep doubling down and doing and it's like you guys have the money to literally find somebody that actually looks like this person and stuff, you know. But you just get somebody that looks like the complete opposite. Like you get Jonathan Majors to play as Kang, and Kang is supposed to be a descendant of Reed Richards and Sue Storm and stuff, right? But then they casted Pedro Pascal to play as Reed Richards. So it's like, wait. So you're telling me that Jonathan Majors' character is supposed to be a descendant of Pedro Pascal's character, and Pedro Pascal is like what, like Hispanic or whatever? Like, come on. or they don't look nothing alike. I think I'm starting to understand the whole race swap concept. I mean, in some way, he's right because we saw Black Nick Fury and Perry White, but now I see that is lazy and dumb. Yeah, yeah, they've been definitely race swapping Perry White a couple of times, like in Man of Steel. I mean, I just think that's probably because they just wanted to get Lawrence Fishburne since he's a talented actor, anyways. Like he's a really good actor and stuff, so that's probably why for like name recognition. Um, but yeah, but Perry White should just stay white, and then Nick Fury. There's some legal reasons behind why Samuel L. Jackson is playing Nick Fury because they actually created a Black Nick Fury inside the Ultimate Comics, which that's what because obviously Nick Fury's been around since the 60s, and we know, of course, he's supposed to be a white man with gray temples and brown hair and the eye patch and everything. But the Ultimate Comics introduced the Black Nick Fury that was like bald, and as we see him in the MCU, so that was based off of Samuel L. Jackson, but Samuel L. Jackson didn't like it, and because of legal reasons, um, he cracked down on Marvel. So basically, if they ever do movies and stuff with Nick Fury, then they have to cast Samuel L. Jackson so he can get the money and the royalties based off of that, pretty much. So that's the reasoning why they have Nick Fury as Samuel L. Jackson all the time. And then they kind of changed it in the main story where they made the black one is Nick Fury Jr. To Nick Fury Sr. pretty much. But yeah, personally, I want to see a normal Russian superhero in American media. Don't get me wrong, Black Widow is awesome. Yeah, but the Cold War stereotypes should have died down 30 years ago. Yeah, I wouldn't mind more Russian superheroes, and they definitely have some too. Luke Cage was great. There you go. Luke Cage was great. They should bring him back to hype up the Defenders again since Daredevil is back. Yeah, I'd definitely like to see Luke Cage and stuff. And like, I kind of like look back on his villains and stuff after like I think Paul did that review for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man where he mentioned like Big Don was one of Luke Cage's villains, and I realized, wow, the Luke Cage show really adapted a lot of the well, although I know they changed a lot of some of the stories, like Luke Cage being a cop and stuff, even though he's supposed to be a gangster, um, that reformed and all that stuff, but whatever. But they actually did adapt like his villains and stuff. I just thought that they were just like, oh, these are just characters from the Serpent Society, but they just like they changed them up to be a part of Luke Cage's thing, and I'm like, oh no, these are actual Luke Cage villains, huh? That's actually pretty cool. And no, Tom, no, I do not want Storm or Bishop or Forge or anyone to be something that they're not or whatever. If anything, most people will complain during the X-Men films about Halle Berry and stuff and how she's biracial and stuff, and they're like, yeah, but we want a more dark skin, Storm and stuff, so there's also some colorism behind it too, so yeah, I mean, obviously since I was young then, because the X-Men movies came out when I was like, well, when I was really young and stuff, so I didn't really think too much of it until later, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you guys got a point there. Luke Cage was a well written. If you've seen him on Netflix, his entire origin was explored throughout the series. Something these D plus series like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The old shows like from the Netflix were actually pretty good and stuff. I mean, Iron Fist and not so much. Jessica Jones, I kind of felt like it was a little boring, but it was interesting though. And yeah, that actress, she did her thing as Jessica Jones and stuff. She was hilarious and everything. I was like, man, but I get it though. And then Luke Cage, yeah, Luke Cage. I actually love watching Luke Cage. Back when I was out, and of course the Daredevil show. Come on, it's Daredevil, so how can you not? I mean, come on. I even like season two, even though I know season two is not the best season, but I mean, there are things I liked about it. Let me change the title real quick. DCUE. It's always interesting how, and this is why me as a black person, where I'm like, why I don't really like the pro black types or whatever, or people that talk a big game, because they always got to jump into like insults or jump into like saying the worst things about your own kind, basically. And I don't like to like label like a single race or like label a certain person to our entire race, but I'm just saying it's always got to be other black people that got to talk all that crap about other black people, like, oh, Uncle Tom's, Sambo's, Coons, whatever, sellouts. I'm like, I myself rarely even use these words and stuff. When describing other black people, but when other black people do say that stuff about other black people, I'm just like, come on, do you really hate your own race like that, man? DCUE, exactly. I love Jessica Jones, but she was boring after season one. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I only saw season one. I didn't even see season two, to be honest. She was cool with Daredevil, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Her and Daredevil had a really good dynamic on that show, and I was kind of wanting like for Defenders. I didn't hate Defenders, but I kind of wanted Luke Cage and like I was looking forward to like Luke Cage and Iron Fist's like dynamic, and they had that one scene. But yeah, but Jessica and Matt, they had a really good dynamic with each other and stuff, and they were hilarious to stuff together too. We would never bring each other up. Exactly. I know. Like it's always got to be like other black people that got to tear other people down and talk the most crap and stuff and be like, well, if you don't, if you're not with me, then you're a coon, Uncle Tom, sellout, Sambo. Even that dude that I used to go back and forth with, Emery Kennedy, even he's like that. He's quick to just be like that and stuff. So it's just dumb. I mean, you never see other white people or other Asian people be like saying that crap about other well, either about themselves or other black people and stuff. So yeah, I'm wondering, should I watch Smallville or not? I definitely recommend you got to watch Smallville. It's a good show. I know it's a little corny, but Smallville to me is probably like the best live action TV show, like, let me rephrase that, my bad, the best live action superhero show in my opinion. Second to that, I'll give it to Daredevil. But go. So, Jew that they did race swap Magneto, and let's say they had to like adapt other characters that are related to Magneto, does that mean that they got to race swap Polaris, Magneto's youngest daughter? They got to race swap Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch as well, who those are also Romanian, like they're also like Romania characters and stuff. So like, why would I? Yeah, because again, if they had to do that, they have to also change those characters who are connected. It's like the same thing with like Iris West, where in the Flash stuff, they changed Iris West to be black, and then since Iris West is connected to Wally West, now they gotta make Wally all black, or they gotta make him biracial, or whatever. And it's so dumb, you know. So I don't really like that, It's like always some kind of echo or something like that. Smallville sucks. I'm sorry. Oh, that SSG, you don't like Smallville? Arrow is better. I mean, I'll give you this. Arrow is more of an action kind of thing, but I just like Smallville definitely for like the character development of like Superman. I know a lot of people get on Smallville about the flying thing, but come on, like a lot of the DC characters and stuff definitely appeared on Smallville and stuff. Like if you ever was like if you like literally look up like some kind of DC character or something like that, not all of the DC characters, but like some like random DC character and stuff, they've at least had the the opportunity to at least be a part of Smallville in some kind of way. I'm rewatching the Arrowverse and it was amazing. Season one and two. Yeah, I actually did own the season two on DVD and stuff years ago, and season one was pretty nice. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually liked Arrow up until like season three. Season four, come on, we all can agree season four was not good. And I know they were trying to get into the mystical magic side of things, but it just wasn't good. What else after that? Season five, I think that's when they did that Prometheus thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, I love that Prometheus thing. That was a good, yeah, I love that so much. Season six, I can't remember if that was the thing with with Ricardo Diaz or Richard the Dragon, or if that was season 7. But I actually liked Ricardo Diaz. That was pretty cool. I didn't like how it was way too long. He couldn't fly till season 4, and all the DC characters. Oh no, I was about to say Superman couldn't fly till like the end of the series, like probably like season 10. I think he might have flown at one point in season 4, I guess, but or yeah, he might have had a moment, but still, I mean, come on, Smallville's a cool ass show, and all the other characters are there and the heroes, except he's just Clark. Yeah, in my opinion, I think that is probably the best on-screen adaptation of Clark Kent. In my opinion, at the very least, he even the worst of Smallville is miles better than the Birds of Prey show. I need to watch the Birds of Prey show. It's not really that bad as I think some people might have given it. I know it came out in the 2000s and stuff, but I think it's actually good. The well, I have yet to see it though, but the movie was complete garbage though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jay Leno, what's happening, man? I'm gonna read your comment in a second. Arrow fell during season 4, but picked back up with season 5 with Prometheus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Prometheus. He was that Adrian Chase man. He was a badass and stuff. I was like, yo, yeah, he was a really good villain and stuff. He was like he trolled the hell out of Oliver. I would never forget that scene where he was like in that parking lot and he was telling Oliver, he was like, oh, okay, so who do you think is gonna last longer, me or that guy and stuff? I mean, if you torture me, we know how much damage I can take, but can so and so? And I was like, damn, he was kind of cool though. The Birds of Prey show was horrible. Damn. Well, I'm still gonna have to check it out someday. It was kind of steady, and then died until season 7 and 8, the last season. Yeah, I'm trying to remember was season 6 or well, was it 7 or 8 or whatever this last season? But yeah. Oh, I don't even want to think of me a smoke right now. Sup, fellas? I talked to Paul today about this, and it's crazy. You're doing a stream. Paul said he was gonna do one. Oh, snap! This should be fun. All right, let me get back to this. I know I've been off on it for a second. I could have thought of I was working and I was just thinking of the characters that came to mind, which was Falcon, Battlestar, and War Machine. Obviously, Falcon being part of Captain America and War Machine being part of Iron Man, and then Battlestar, he was inside that Falcon and Winter Soldier show. But what sucks is they actually killed him off. I didn't even know he was like a superhero until I'm not gonna lie, until I Googled him, and he was like a good friend of like U.S. agent. I was like, wow, that could have been interesting that they could have done something with him though. But that was just dumb that they killed him off just like that. And then Falcon, again, I keep saying this. I do actually like Falcon, and I don't mind seeing a movie about Falcon. I'm not gonna watch this Captain America movie though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll probably catch it on like I don't know Disney Plus or when it hits streaming or something. But it's not worth going to the movies and watching, in my opinion. I'm just like nah, just no. I mean, I was interested from some of the trailers, but then after I keep hearing like the reshoots, and then they put out that McDonald's toys from last year and stuff like that before. That's crazy. I know that's crazy as hell. They couldn't have the movie come out at the same time. And I was telling my friend about that too, because I was like, they put out the McDonald's toys at McDonald's, but they had to push the movie back even further. I'm like, I have never seen anything like that before, which is crazy. But yeah. But anyways, but I have no problem seeing a Falcon movie. Just do it as him as Falcon, or hell, I say War Machine too. Like you can use War Machine, not Ironheart. Nobody cares about Ironheart, but yeah, I'm like, oh, she's a female Black Iron Man. Okay, well, I want the male Black Iron Man. I want War Machine. Hang on. Yeah, they killed him off in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Shaking my head. Wait. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad. Yeah, I'm talking about Battlestar. I'm like, wait. Yeah, yeah. That was completely dumb. And man, I wanted to see him in a costume too. That would have been cool. If you wanted in streaming the movie, if you want to watch after this, the movie. Oh no! If you're talking about the Captain America 4, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not ready to even see that movie yet. Honestly, I'm just like, nope. I'm good. Screw Marvel and DC. We need to revive Ben 10 with a live action movie. Remember that movie Ben 10 Alien Swarm? Yeah, CGI was pretty good though. It was pretty decent. Race Against Time though, that movie to me has not aged well. I will say this though, and that's probably because they want that China money too. To be honest with you, since I mean, because if you guys saw, oh my god, remember, speaking of, I always had to keep coming back to Captain America 4, but remember with like Captain America 4, how like if you guys seen that China poster and stuff, they had taken out like a silhouette of like a random like, and you can probably tell it's probably some random white guy instead of Anthony Mackie and stuff, and I'm like, that doesn't even look nothing like Anthony Mackie in the silhouette. That looks like, if anything, Chris Evans or somebody else fighting the Red Hulk. But Jesus Christ, like, are you guys just trying to trick Chinese people or whatever, or to watch this movie? Like, oh my god, that is so racist, bro. The live actions movies were not good for Ben 10. I mean, it was all right. Alien Swarm was all right. Race Against Time wasn't good though. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why that one was set in the alternate universe. But Alien Swarm, it is actually canon and stuff to the. I know just because it's canon, that doesn't mean it's good, but it was all right. And man, I love that song, "There for Tomorrow" and stuff. That was a good ass song. Raise Against Time was all right in my opinion. At least it gave us Eon. You know, pander to us at the same time. It's either you're in or you're not. You know, it's just dumb. But anyways, what was I saying before you Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then you talk about the power. Oh, well, black people don't have powers and stuff. I don't care if the black character is the most powerful or not. I mean, what we really care about when it comes to heroes is we judge them based off their heroics and stuff. We don't care about, oh, if they have a cool costume or they're the most powerful. I don't care. I want to see the hero just be the hero, you know? And I'm probably going to talk about this a little later too, but like Steel, you know, I was like reading for the first time a couple of months ago, The Reign of Superman, right? The story where Superman comes back to life after the death of Superman, and the main characters we got is Superboy, Steel, um, or the most of Superman or Superman's the villain in the and oh my god, Cyborg Superman, that man is evil as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you, that man is straight up evil. But I would say to me, like my favorite characters from that, besides of course Superman, is Steel and Superboy and stuff. You know, Superboy, yeah, he's cool and stuff, and I like actually I've read some of his comics and stuff. He's pretty cool. But Steel, man, Steel kind of also stole it from me, not because he's black, but also I'm just like he was a pretty cool stuff, and he was humble and everything, and like even like when everyone else was bragging or saying, "Oh yeah, we're the real Superman," like Cyborg Superman, Last Son of Krypton, Superboy, all those like those three were claiming, "Oh yeah, I'm Superman, just different, or I changed." But Steel, like he was the only person that didn't claim he was Superman and all that stuff. And Lois is like, "Who do you think you are, being impersonating Superman?" And then Steel's like, "I never claimed that I was Superman." I mean, he was calling himself the Man of Steel, but he never claimed he was Superman. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just using his symbol because it inspired me and all that stuff, and I built this suit because I want to help other people." And and he was kind of being like a bit of a mentor to Superboy and stuff, and I thought that was cool. So yes, as an author, it was horrible. Oh man, but that decently in Superman with the CW. I need to watch more of that Superman and Lois show. I have not finished season one yet, and I did not watch that movie with Shaquille O'Neal. Um, I probably need to just because for shits and giggles, honestly. But no, never watched it yet. But Steel as a character though, in general, I do like Steel and stuff. I think he's an awesome character. And if they want to focus on like a black Superman, you got Steel right there. Let me see that comment. I ain't gonna get on his nerves with this one here, where I was like, oh, okay, so white people are interchangeable, but black characters or black people aren't, you know, because it just undermines like the black character itself versus, you know what I mean, the white character. But okay, sounds like bias. John level. It's ironic he calls me John level. It's Jonin. Well, you know, obviously because if anyone watched Naruto, you know Jonin or know ninja stuff. But yeah, but it's ironic because John is actually the name of my grandpa. So yeah, people are obsessed um, with race, yet still Static Shock is just collecting the dust. Yeah, I'm gonna get to Static in a second because he does bring him up here. It's a good stream so far. I'm gonna randomly bring this up, but I remember her Fantastic Four movies. They race swapped Alicia Masters and stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was kind of dumb they race swapped her though, but the actions they got, she was kind of hot though. And stuff. I remember I was like, wait, that's Alicia Masters? But yeah, but she's supposed to be like a white girl with like a lot of freckles and stuff like that. That's into the thing. Um, but yeah, and she has like short hair and she's like a redhead and all that. People are obsessed with race. Oh yeah, sorry, I just read that. It's funny when you give that argument you gave to another black person, they go off. Why is it okay for white characters to be switched to black but not vice versa? Exactly. Like I'm like you, yeah. In person myself, I don't really care. Like I never thought, especially back when I was a kid, I never thought, oh, well, there's not enough black people in here that look like me or whatever. No, I don't. I don't care. I mean, if anything, yeah, there were black characters or there was a Hispanic, whatever. I don't think about that, especially like as a comic book fan or whatever. I don't like just read stuff because oh, it's like not, you know, because it has a certain number. No, I mean, I'm just you know, I get invested because I'm just interested in the character or the lore or the story and stuff like that. You know, like for a while, like a year or two ago, I got into GI Joe and stuff because I wanted to learn more about Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes is a blonde white guy and stuff that's a ninja. Okay, and I know they've been trying to change it to be Japanese or whatever. He ain't Japanese. Snake Eyes is a blonde, blue-eyed white guy and stuff, you know. And he just trained in Japan, and his best friend is Storm Shadow, who is a Japanese man, who was his old war buddy. But yeah, well, man, yeah, huge fan of it. I'm not saying I'm against, of course, like gay characters or anything in particular, but I mean, but yeah, yeah, they will just do this for some diversity reasons or whatever, like that Agatha thing. They're trying to promote Wiccan and stuff. And Wiccan, you know, he's the son of Scarlet Witch and Vision and all that stuff. They brought him back, but they didn't bring his brother Speed or anything, who is actually supposed to be straight. But yeah, I never thought growing up I need characters to look like me. I like the characters because they are cool. If they introduce a cool black character, even better. That's how I see it. Exactly. Like, yeah, when I was growing up, I mean, we already had like you know black character. Okay, Justice League. Let me say this. All right, we all know the Justice League the animated series from the DCAU, right? When Justice League came out back in like what was it 2001? I was like 2 years old when that show came out. Okay, so I was none the wiser. And I remember like I remember the day when my mom like you know, she got me like this VHS tape and stuff, you know, back in those days. And it was of Justice League. I still have it too. It's, you know, it's back in my mom's house, but still. Right. And I already knew who Batman was, of course. But that was my first introduction to like characters like Superman and Wonder Woman and stuff. And they were side by side with Batman. I was like, wow. And, you know, obviously I watched the thing and it had like, you know, John Stewart, the Green Lantern and stuff. That was my first introduction to Green Lantern when I learned about John Stewart, you know, not Hal Jordan, even though I do like Hal Jordan too. and I learned of Hal Jordan from Super Friends, and I was like, "Wait, so is Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart the same guy? Like, what's going on?" And then obviously I found out later. But still, or like Static Shock. I used to watch Static Shock when I was younger, back in like daycare and stuff. I liked Static. I thought he was cool and stuff. Hell, um, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys know me, I love long hair and stuff, and I always as a kid, I always wanted to have long hair. And when I saw Static and stuff, and he had like the little dreads and stuff, shit was cool to me. I always want, and even now to this very day, I have cornrows and stuff. I have long hair and stuff. Because I like to have long hair. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate black films and blackfication and etc. Give me a Blackula remake or a Luke Cage again. I need to check out Blackula. I never heard about that until now. Or Black Dynamite. Yeah, Black Dynamite's interesting. I'll say that. I'll say that. Yeah, but I remember my friend told me about the movie and stuff about Black Dynamite, and then obviously the show came out. If they want a cool black characters, they should bring Ethan Bennett back. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true from the Batman and stuff, the Clayface. Yeah, he was a good character from that show. Yeah, and he was an original character too. At that, I'm not gonna lie, just I would actually like them to also bring Detective. And I always had this idea of like, why not have Detective Yin become a love interest of Batman? That's just me and stuff, and they can be like partners and all that. I think that would probably be a lot more healthier than Batman and Catwoman or Batman and Talia. But that's just me. This is a click on this. If you like martial arts movies, check out Jim Kelly's films. Yeah, yeah. I haven't really seen too many of Jim Kelly's films. The only movie I've seen with Jim Kelly is obviously Into the Dragon with Bruce Lee and all that. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Or obviously Michael Jai White, of course, or Michael J. White and stuff. I've seen like some movies like Blood and Bone. Come on, if anyone's seen Undisputed, Wesley Snipes and stuff with the first Undisputed or Blade or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's black actors too in real life that are like really like influential, or they're really badasses and stuff. Or remember Turbo from what you call it, from Undisputed 3. Just saying. I like Detective Yin from the Batman cards. Exactly. Like, yeah, they they need to bring back some of those characters and stuff from the Batman, because they had some pretty interesting ideas with that show. I'm tired of this. Tired of that. But I'm not gonna lie though, Ethan Bennett. I think Ethan Bennett is supposed to be like kind of stand-in for Two Face, because Two Face is supposed to be like Bruce Wayne's close friend, or as Harvey Dent. But I liked Ethan though. He was really cool. I liked how him and Bruce grew up together, and they got lost on like a school field trip, and they became like good friends. And then going to their like 20s and all that stuff. They used to play basketball and stuff like that together and hang out. Like, yeah, that was awesome. Jim Carrey was better than Michael J. White. He was Black Legend. Yes. Oh well, say yet because I need to watch more Jim Kelly movies. But if that's the case, but yeah, but I'm still saying like they have like a lot of black people. Hell, even Carl Weathers and stuff, or yeah, when he like he passed away, but yeah, he was a good. Well, I don't think he was a martial artist though, but still, he was a good he was a good actor and stuff, and he was like, wasn't he not like an athlete and stuff? Yeah, he was an athlete and everything. Still, so yeah, and there's like a lot of good athletes and stuff. Um, yeah. Oh God, Mike Tyson from Ip Man. What was it, 3? Or no, or was it? Yeah, it was. I think it was Ip Man 3. Just saying. Come on. I need to rewatch the Batman stuff. It's been a long time since I've seen that show. Like when it came out and stuff. I remember when I was like, I could have been like what, middle school or something when that came out. Yeah, I've been thinking about rewatching Batman Brave and the Bold. Oh, well, this was also a legend, man. He's known for a lot of action films. Um, action movies I know. I have not seen Predator, but I know, yeah, he was a big part of that. He was in even fucking Rocky and stuff too. He was in well yeah, he was in the first what 3 Rocky movies and stuff, and became like Rocky's best friend and mentor and impacted the franchise. And then obviously, you get Creed and all that stuff with his son Adonis Creed or Michael B. Jordan. And I know a lot of people don't really like it's a little divisive, but I actually like Michael B. Jordan. I think he's all right. To me, he knows at least yes, Apollo Creed 2. Yep. Let this rant. Back. Sorry about that. I was kind of kicked out of the studio. Let me reshare it. But yeah, he was sharing his little thing about what's his face, Static and Cyborg. I'm like, well, okay. I don't know why there are people that just don't like Cyborg, or I understand they don't really find his character all that interesting. Personally, I find Cyborg, he's more of a team player, and that's just what he should be. I do think Cyborg is just best as a Teen Titan or as a new Titan or something like that than being a part of the Justice League, because the Justice League is a completely different thing from like the Titans and stuff in itself, where the Titans are more like an actual family. In the Justice League, they're just more like, well, we're mutual friends, but we're just trying to accomplish the same kind of goal and stuff like that. I don't think Cyborg is, should be a part of the Justice League in my opinion. It just doesn't work. Okay. But regardless, though, he said that he doesn't have powers because he's half machine. I'm like, so he doesn't have like, I don't know, super strength. He can't make makeshift weapons and stuff like those weird mechanical tentacles that he can do sometimes, or he's got like what, a sonic boom cannon and stuff like that. And I know they tied his origin more so to like the mother box in the New 52 or whatever, but I personally wish they just go back to how his dad kind of just saved his life and everything with the like with just he was making machines and stuff like that or whatever. I think that's better in my opinion. like his old origin. But yeah, but no, Cyborg, he's a cool character. I'm like, yeah. And on top of that, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't like Static. I do like Static. I just said how much I like Static. But Cyborg is actually a lot more powerful than Static. Okay, I know Nerd Culture one time said that. Oh well, Batman could beat Cyborg. Can he though? I mean, yeah, maybe if Batman has some prep time, or maybe if he like hacks Cyborg or something like that. Sure, maybe. But Cyborg, Cyborg is crazy. Bats in Captain Marvel and the Green Lanterns and stuff. So I'm like, he's far from powerless. That's for sure.
I promise y'all that he will steal the show. If they
Culture appeared on Trey McKell's channel where brought that with Trey at one time. But no, it does not make any sense to put Static Shock on the Justice League. The Teen Titans or Young Justice, sure, because he's a teenager. But to put him in the Justice League, no, it doesn't make any sense unless he's an adult by then, like how he was inside like Batman Beyond and Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, it makes sense if he's an adult or something or whatever or young adult by then. But as a teenager, no. And if you needed a black, like lightning based character, League, by the way. But again, he reads comics, right?
play Static Shock,
All right, I'm back now. Yeah. Sorry about that. I got kicked out again. Let me read some of these stuff. Cyborg can't be a Titan forever. Eventually, I see him joining and being a tech guy for the league. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not doable, but I'm saying like, I mean, personally, I kind of just see him more as just a Titan and stuff. I know he has to grow up and stuff, but they can kind of just do that thing like what they did back in like I think the 2003 Teen Titans run, where they kind of combined the Young Justice with the Teen Titans and stuff, and just made the older like Teen Titans like Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and all of them more into like mentors for like Superboy, Impulse, and what you call it, Cassie Sandmark and stuff. Wonder Girl and stuff. I think that makes a lot more sense for his role, where he could just be more of a mentor for like the newer generation or anyone that wants to become a Titan and stuff, and he oversees like their training or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's plausible. But as a member of the Justice League, I don't know. I just feel like Cyborg would just be kind of out of place there. What out of place, but it's just like he needs more like kind of a kinship kind of thing. Cyborg should have his own adventures rather than be a part of the Justice League. I don't know. I don't really think you can really do much with making Cyborg into like a solo hero or anything. That's just my opinion. Because Cyborg doesn't really have much villains like that per se. I think the one villain he really has like that is Grid, and he also got Brother Blood too. He has a bit of a rivalry with him. They hate when you bring up Black Lightning. Exactly. And I remember like how nerd culture would be like, well, Black Lightning's daughters are stronger than him. Okay, let me correct him on that because he's talking about in the show. Now in the show, because I did watch the Black Lightning show, because apparently, you know, I'm an Uncle Tom, right? I actually like the Black Lightning show. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually did like it. I just didn't like Lin though, but I liked Tobias as well. He was entertaining. Black Lightning was all right. Yeah, I liked him. Um, Gamby, I liked him, etc. You know, there was things I liked about the Black Lightning show, but the whole thing with Lightning and Thunder. So first off, Black Lightning fought his daughter. Fought his daughter. Okay, what he's talking about is that Lightning has more potential. It is more powerful than Black Lightning. Okay, they never fought, but she has more potential being his daughter and everything, or being his child. Obviously, she's going to have like more to gain or something like that. You know what I mean? Because usually when it comes to like, you know, inheritance and stuff like that, usually sometimes the child will surpass the parent or have some kind of like potential, like, or, you know, or some dormant kind of thing going on. You know, it's the same thing. Like, let me use Dragon Ball Z, right? Um, Technically Gohan should have a lot more potential than Goku and stuff. I know Gohan's not a full Saiyan like Goku, but we've seen that there have been moments where Gohan has spiked in terms of power, and they're always trying to allude that yes, he has more power, like more power than Goku. Okay, it's the same case with like Lightning, where yeah, she has more potential than Jeff. Okay, and then Thunder's not as powerful as Black Lightning or Jin, you know, Lightning and stuff. Anissa, yeah. Thunder, they actually did fight like Thunder and Black Lightning before he found out that it was Anissa or whatever. Um, they fought and Black Lightning won. So I don't know why he's getting this impression that, oh, Black Lightning is weaker than his daughters in his own show. Like, no, but okay. All right, let me get back to this stream. Do, 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 do. I was wondering if you guys got any of that, but let me just go back a little bit.
Black people did not complain.
Showing my friend, my coworker, Anaya, that she was like, "Oh my god," when he was talking about, so we have to complain, just like how we did it back in the 1920s and the 1930s. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Now, me personally, as a man, I don't really feel like a man should really complain. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't things to complain about, or that maybe sometimes complaining doesn't get you somewhere, but I don't really feel like complaining really gets you anywhere. You know, sometimes you got to make a change yourself versus, oh, well, complaining to so and so, whatever, you know, or some kind of force or whatever. You know what I mean? Or some kind of system and stuff that you're not getting things your way. You know, like that's just dumb to me. What is this? I want you to really break down for the audience why Magneto and Malcolm X shouldn't be black or not based off of MLK and Martin Luther King. I mean, well, you know what I mean. Well, MLK and Malcolm X. Yeah, they really shouldn't be based off of that. Yeah, sorry, I'm about to get to that in a second because yeah.
Our struggles, nothing will happen. Our depression, we fought to live because we spoke up. We spoke up. God damn you.
God damn you.
This is sad. It's Black History Month. It's sad.
This man really got the show nuts out from the last Dragon, bro. I'm like, bro, when I'm looking at pulling these new videos, I'm like, dude, what are you doing with your hair, man? Because I mean, I know he went from like bald and he's growing, like his hair is receding and stuff. I'm like, dude, what are you doing with your hair, man? Like, I mean, recently this week or last week or whatever. I mean, at least I got my hair redone, so it's, you know, dreaded now and all that. My hair is very thick and poofy when I take it out, but I got like cornrows and stuff. So yeah, and he's got to do something about this beard.
have no black Panther. He's the second movie. How's that even a trilogy? If Tom Holland dies, they're replacing him. They're replacing another Spider-Man. Let's see what you say. It says, I committed earlier. I think you're blocked. My main account's not cool. He says,
So, people should be treated race swapping character inhibition. How do things are comparable? I don't even know.
I don't know
I don't
what's
really take them that
wrong with your
things like Uncle Tom and Coon and all that. I'm like, I mean, I don't really take your opinion that seriously, dude, or these insults. I'm like, well, because I mean, I know who I am, so I'm like, yeah.
And that's why you've been leaving comments on Marvel. Marvel.
No work is going to get done. Just be honest. Or like, I don't know, celebrities and like Denzel Washington, like you mentioned, or whatever, or something like that. That's what I can imagine. But nah, if Paul was yeah. Anyways. Yeah, the reason why I brought up Storm and Spectrum is because there's some overpowered ass characters and stuff, you know. For what I've been hearing, like Spectrum literally controls like literally the spectrum of light, so she can do like a crazy ton of things from what I've been hearing. And then Storm, I mean, yeah, Storm controls the weather, but when you really think about what she can really do versatility wise with the weather, Storm is pretty pretty freaking dangerous and stuff. And honestly, um, I watched this YouTuber again. Oh, I'm my Uncle Tom, but promoting other black people. Okay, this is YouTuber I watch. His name is Animane. Okay, he also has a secondary channel called Storm Corey HQ and stuff. I might just put it in the link. I guess I don't know or in the chat. But basically, he does these videos talking about Storm and Starfire because he's a huge fan of like Storm and Starfire and stuff. Hence the name Storm Corey HQ. Because Coriander is Starfire's real name and Storm. From X-Men. So he gives a lot of breakdowns and fun facts about the characters and stuff that I just never knew about. I was like, wow, I never thought about that. But he would tell you how overpowered as hell Storm is as a character and stuff. He was saying that like Storm, according to Chris Claremont, is actually probably on par with Phoenix, like with Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force, if Storm's full power is like really unleashed, okay? And by the way, she's a black woman, okay? So where's the oh well, they don't have powers and blah blah blah, or they're not the strongest person in the room. Let me get back to this. It's buffering. It's buffering. All right, it's back.
Let's see what Uncle Tom, John Level Fox, got to say. He says, I don't know why you care, honestly, when you don't have uh,
Now, and this is a theory. I think nerd culture here is a little bit illiterate because this man, like, I mean, I know he's not all there in terms of like, you know, he might have like some kind of autism or he might be a little on the special side of things. I think he's low key illiterate. Okay. Because he's not really good at reading my comments and stuff or other people's stuff or whatever. And I think that's also because he doesn't read, you know, stories or he doesn't read like novels and stuff like that. Um, which I mean, that can really help you out with your vocabulary. Trust me. I actually myself enjoy reading. Well, I read light novels to be honest, but still, um, but it's helped me out reading, like, you know, learning, like, you know, like bigger words and stuff like vocabulary and stuff like that, or you know, or well, I'm able to speak proper because I went to some pretty decent schools. Not anything crazy, but I used to, like, you know, when I was younger, I went to like a charter school here and there, stuff like that. And I was, you know, they teach you like how to be like, you know, your manners and all that stuff or whatever. So yeah, so that's why that's the way I talk the way I do because I'm not trashy, but
fuck up.
oh, I can fishing because he's always talking about stuff that's like movies and cartoons and stuff, and I'm like, dude, what about the comics though and stuff? That's where all the characters and stuff originated from, and if you really cared enough about these characters, then you would be probably talking more about the comics than you do about the movies and the cartoons because you're just looking at things from a visual kind of thing versus actually reading it though. Similar to Shitty Boy and stuff in that regard. Um, yeah, I'll give Paul this. He's a little bit more smarter than you know who.
Let's see.
My at least
It is not about
he is smart.
knowledge there. It's y'all. A comic book show. These are the panels on my comic book. For us. Stuff that. Wait a second. But let me see. It's
Again, again with that illiterate TV shows, iComics mostly and stuff. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like he All right, I am back. Let me share the screen again. I know I was kind of buffering and cut out some stuff, but yeah, smarter. At least he doesn't wear diapers like you do. Well, I don't know if Larry, Larry Hughes wears diapers or not, but at least Paul isn't, Discord or whatever, or like doxing people and stuff like that. And I left that for he started showing comic book the way. Come on. All right, I think it's popping up now. Sorry, I was kind of watching it and it's still kind of buffering where it's loading up for some reason. You know how StreamYard is. There it is. Um, yeah, like I said, I left that comment before he was like, "Well, I just showed you room, and the best way to enjoy stuff through movies and cinema fast." I'm like, so you don't understand or you don't feel joy of, I don't know, just having peace and quiet and just curling up with like a good book on the couch or something, and just like losing yourself with like or like with the text and stuff like that, describing the characters and their moves. Yeah, he doesn't understand that feeling. Like, the game thing.
Wow. Like
We're almost finished with Nerd Culture right here. Let me share the screen again. Man, it is like 11. But yeah, as I was saying before I got kicked out of my own, you have thing to the story or to like the lore or whatever.
Fox lying
There
on
it
my
is.
stream.
I'm not lying though, but okay. It does matter because these characters come from like, oh yeah, and this is that last part. Pick up the comics, you know? That's just how I see it. Because the comics have a lot more history and a lot more lore, and they're more ongoing compared to like the movies and stuff where they might cancel or they might, you know, opt out of it, or it's going to take years before they put out a sequel and stuff nowadays. So I'm like, you might as well just read the comics and stuff to kind of get to know the character. Like, for example, right, Black Panther. I've been trying to read more Black Panther comics because I'm interested in the character. You know, because obviously the MCU isn't going to give us T'Challa and all that, you know. I mean, yeah, we can complain, we can kick, we can cry. They're not gonna they're not gonna do right with T'Challa and stuff after what they did with Black Panther too. So I'm like, yeah, we're better off just reading the comics and stuff after that. Anyways, he's got to finish this
Anyway,
thing. Okay, so I remember in Jay Leno's Discord server, we were all kind of talking about like the whole. I'm not sure if this is initiated because of like that whole thing with Paul or not, but no, the X-Men is not based off of civil rights. Magneto is not based off of Malcolm X or none of that stuff. That is dumb. Okay, or X-Men and the civil rights thing. That's not that dumb or far fetched, but the Malcolm X and Magneto thing, yeah, that is dumb. Like I said before, um, Malcolm X believed more so into like instead of just trying to integrate into society with other like other white people and stuff like that, we should just do our own thing and be more independent and self sufficient. Which, in principle, I kind of agree with, but I'm also like I agree with also Martin Luther King. I'm a little bit in the middle of all that. Okay. And that's not just a debate that started with them. That goes way back with W. Dubois and Booker T. Washington and stuff. I know I got this information from Young Ripper, Eric July and stuff. But yeah, but Malcolm X though, yeah, he believed more so into that than like he never believed in yeah, let's genocide the other people and stuff like that, like off some Nat Turner type stuff. Like no, that was not Malcolm X as a person or as a as a figure or anything like that. He wasn't some kind of extremist or none of that stuff, or he wasn't a renegade. None of that stuff. Okay. Um, that is dumb. All right. Um, but yeah, and then Magneto, if you really think that he's like Malcolm X again, he's like a cartoonish exaggeration. If that's the case, because Magneto, he believes in genociding the human race in favor of mutant kind and stuff like that. And originally, he wanted to take over the world. And another thing too about Magneto that nerd culture doesn't know is that Magneto's a hypocrite. Okay, he is a hypocrite, all right, because obviously he grew up during the whole Holocaust and all that stuff during those days, and with Magneto and stuff, obviously, you know, he had to he had to live that experience of like Nazis and stuff coming and doing what they did to his family and stuff, and he had that like PTSD, and then he became exactly the thing that he hated and stuff. He became just like the Nazis and stuff, where they were genociding Jewish people. Now he's trying to genocide humans. And then there's that famous panel where he's talking to the Red Skull and stuff, and then Magneto has all this energy, and he's like, "Are you that same Red Skull and stuff who's like a Nazi back from the days when I was a young boy, and you killed like you did all that to my family?" And then the Red Skull, he's smoking and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, aren't you that same Magneto that like drowned a submarine full of men and some innocent men by that?" And because of like you were so concerned about your minority group and stuff, and then you had this whole hatred for humans and humanity and all that crap. And then Magneto instantly just shut up and was like, "Oh my god, I just became the thing I hated." And then on top of that, if you really look back in the '60s stuff, Magneto, even though yeah he was all for like mutants and stuff or mutant kind, Magneto did some terrible things to other mutants and stuff, not just to the X-Men, but to the people that worked for him and stuff. Like, take for example his relationship with like Toad and stuff. Like Toad, we know that Toad is not the most handsome looking guy or whatever, and he's like, oh, and all this, that, and the third. But Magneto used to abuse Toad back in the 60s and stuff. He used to like threaten him, almost try to kill him and stuff like that. And he used him, you know? Yeah. And you're telling me, oh yeah, this guy is comparable to Malcolm X. Right, right, right. Or he was based off of Malcolm X, or his own children, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, where he blackmailed them into working for him to, as a debt to saving their lives or whatever, for the Brotherhood of Mutants and stuff. And then, um, later on, obviously they became part of the Avengers and stuff. And then later on, I think there was a storyline. I think it was like that one where Scarlet Witch like went crazy or whatever. I think, what was it, like M Day or something? And didn't Magneto not kill Quicksilver in a fit of rage and stuff like that? His own son, by the way. And then that pissed off Scarlet Witch, and she like warped reality or something and did all this to like the universe or whatever because of that. But you're telling me that, oh yeah, Magneto is totally like, you know what I mean? Because I understand that there are some characters that might have a point, and yeah, there are some times where Magneto does have a point here and there about certain things, but no, he's a villain through and through. Okay, he's a mass murderer. He's all for he's all for genocide. He's not based off of Malcolm X. Okay, there are other villains inside comics and stuff, or other shows, cartoons, whatever, anime that might be based off of like Adolf Hitler or something, or Genghis Khan, or Napoleon and stuff. Those are some real life villains. But and you got characters like Cobra Commander from GI Joe, or what you call it, Serpentor, also from GI Joe, and so on and so forth. Like, some of those characters are based off of like so and so. But saying that Magneto is based off of Malcolm X, you're basically just vilifying Malcolm X in that case. Because yeah. And then as far as like the X-Men goes, the X-Men is not based off of civil rights or anything like that. Look, Stan Lee has a lot of depth and all that stuff, like as a person. But during those days, like, a lot of people try to say, oh, he was into like civil rights, and he was like he was into like activism and stuff like that. Not really. I mean, yeah, Stan grew up like, as a poor Irish immigrant and all that stuff. And he was trying to find ways to make money. And obviously, he was working for Marvel, and he was putting hit comics after hit comics once he got to like Fantastic Four and all that stuff. But still, Stan, I don't think he wanted to really get all political like that per se. And he was just like, well, I mean, I just made the X-Men because I just wanted a cool story with a team of superheroes, and I didn't want to keep justifying why these superheroes had powers like a radioactive spider or a gamma bomb. Like, not everybody can be hit by cosmic rays. So Stan was like, well, what if they were just born with it? And let's kind of take into consideration what the real world people would do with people that had powers and stuff. Like, what would politicians say and stuff like that? And it came off pretty natural and pretty grounded and stuff compared to like, DC and all that stuff. Because in the real world, we probably would consider a way in like, what exactly do we do with people that are mutants and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Because they can be dangerous and all that. It's not supposed to be an allegory to civil rights or gay rights or whatever. I mean, if you want to see it that way, I mean, go ahead, sure. But that's not what Stan Lee intended, okay? And then even then, like, X-Men kind of didn't really get that much depth until like maybe like the 80s or the 90s and stuff, because during the 60s, I mean, yeah, X-Men was there, but I mean, it wasn't as popular as like Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, all that stuff. It was not topping those. If anything, people kind of found X-Men to be boring, and I think it was canceled for a while too. And then they had to relaunch it with giant-sized X-Men and stuff. That's where we get like Wolverine and Storm and Colossus, or Nightcrawler and Banshee and all them. And what's that man's name? John Proudstar, not Warpath. That's the brother. Firebrand or whatever. You know what I mean? Or Firebird. Yeah, you get those characters in the mix, and they're like, oh snap, these guys look a little bit more interesting than the X-Men, where they had those yellow generic suits and stuff. And that's not to say that Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, and Angel weren't cool characters, but they just didn't stand out, or they just didn't compete with the other competition. But anyways, so yeah, and Magneto was very comical and cartoonish in the Fantastic Four. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. How like Mr. Fantastic defeated Magneto with that wooden gun. Yeah, I saw the clips on YouTube. He was like, "What? Why can't I manipulate it?" But yeah, but back in the '60s though, yeah, characters were just evil, just sometimes for the hell of it. Okay, it wasn't no major depth or anything like that. The Nazi stuff, with the whole Holocaust and all that stuff, that wasn't introduced until like Chris Claremont came along, and it worked. Okay, but during the '60s though, no, Magneto, he was all about taking over the world. He didn't care and stuff. I remember he went up against the Fantastic Four one time, and he tried to take over the world. He didn't talk anything about mutants and stuff. They're nothing like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Exactly. Although, I mean, I guess, granted, Professor X's philosophy about coexisting could be on like similar terms to Martin Luther King, but I wouldn't really say, oh, well, he's based off of Martin Luther King. Like, no. Saying that proves that they don't know about Malcolm X because he wasn't a demon who killed. Exactly. Like, from what I know Malcolm X. Now, I'm not saying I know Malcolm X all like that. I read a book that my family had me reading one time about Malcolm X, where I know Malcolm X's real name is supposed to be Malcolm Little, and I know he got into like when he was a teenager, he got into some trouble or something like that. I think because he tried to steal a watch or something like that, and it was him and I think two white girls, and basically he realized that him and his friend got like they got a pretty strict sentence where they were in jail for quite a while, but the two white girls had only got maybe a short sentence or something like that. So then I think that's what that's what inspired Malcolm X to become who he became and stuff, and to make some kind of social change with that whole thing. Okay, and just like let's say Muhammad Ali, right? Like we know Malcolm X is Malcolm X. We don't know him as like Malcolm Little, even though that's his original name and stuff, because he wanted to branch off from like stuff like the government and from like I guess because if you're black and stuff, or if you're an African American, 9 times out of 10, if you have like a white kind of last name or something, it probably was like, oh well, my my ancestor was probably a slave to like a slave master or whatever, so they kind of adopted their family name, and it got passed on from generations to generations and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure Malcolm X, that's probably the reason why he changed his name, when I guess he was what is he, like a born again Muslim or something. And then the same thing with like Muhammad Ali and stuff, where I mean we all know Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali is not his real name. His real name was actually Cletus Clay and stuff. But Muhammad Ali, you call him Cletus Clay, well, good luck against the world champion heavyweight boxer and stuff. Even the announcers and stuff, he was like, call me Cletus Clay one more time, see what happens. I will get out of this ring and I'm gonna jump on the announcers. That's how Muhammad Ali was like. So I was like, okay, we're not gonna call you Cletus Clay no more. But if it's interesting, who's worse as a person, Magneto or Mr. Sinister? That's an interesting question. I mean, Mr. Sinister is just unapologetically evil, you know. So I might just give it to him. But Magneto, I think he's just done a lot more in terms of like just being evil, but trying to justify it with the whole, well, the ends justify the means or whatever. Big facts. And what Lemmy says. And Wolverine wasn't always an X-Men. He was first in the Hulk enemy, but was retconned to be a mutant later. Yeah. He like I know. Wolverine originally, like him and Hulk had this whole rivalry. It was him, Hulk, and Wendigo and stuff back in the '70s, where Wolverine was supposed to be like kind of like some kind of assassin or mercenary in Canada that they hired. And then they kind of like, well, I wouldn't say they retcon, but they kind of added to that he was a mutant and all that stuff, and that later on Professor X reached out to him and he joined the X-Men and all that. But yeah. And not to mention, nerd culture talked a lot about how the X-Men is all white people and stuff like that. And that's the thing too. Look, the Fantastic Four, yes, they're an all-white team. The Avengers depends. I mean, you might have some characters like Luke Cage or something a part of it, or you had Monica Rambeau, who is the first black leader of the Avengers and stuff, and woman, by the way, to lead the Avengers back in the '80s. But the X-Men though, the X-Men is not an all-white team. Okay, if anyone knows their stuff, or at least not all Caucasian. Yes, the first 5 X-Men and stuff. Yes, they're all Caucasian. They're all white. Cyclops, Jean, Bobby, Drake, Warren Worthington, and Beast. Yes, they are all white. Cool. But after that, most of the characters inside the X Men are all like diverse or come from different parts of the world. Like you literally have Gambit, who's Cajun. You got Wolverine, who's not even American, which most people don't even know. He's Canadian, you know. Who else? Psylocke. Psylocke's technically British, but she's in a Japanese woman's body or something like that. Nightcrawler is German. Colossus and Magic, they're both Russian. Who else? I think Shadowcat's white, yeah. But Jubilee, she's what, Chinese? Chinese American and stuff. Storm, obviously Storm is African American, or she comes from Africa, but her dad is like African American and all that stuff. You get the point. So yeah, X-Men's a very, very diverse team. Technically, Beast is blue. Yes, he is. I'm not gonna forget the fact that like Beast before he turned blue. Yeah, I mean, you know how he used to look like and stuff that way. Cletus Clay, pronounced Cletus Clay. My bad, Cletus Clay. I'm Cletus Cassidy and all that. But yes, Cletus Clay. Yeah, that was Muhammad Ali's real name back in the day. But anyways, so yeah, that's all I gotta say there. As far as like the X-Men thing go, and just my takeaway from it, like, yeah, no, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, they weren't really that in depth with the whole civil rights thing and all that stuff. Like, no. And even if they were, like, most people nowadays try to be like that when they try to focus on social issues, and we see how that's turning out in terms of sales. So no, that's not something that Stan and Jack prioritized, or Steve Ditko was, oh, we got to get the message out there. Nope. that was not the point. But yeah. I mean, that came later, I guess, but they're like, no. And that's just how it's done. Okay. But anyways, that's all I'm gonna say there. As far as that goes, I don't really have too much else to say. I was gonna probably show off my comic book collection to kind of just show nerd culture, if he's watching the stream or anyone, that I do know what I'm talking about, because I do got like 2 full boxes full of comics, or at least 1.5, and I got another one back in my home state where my mom lives at. So yeah. But anyways, yep. Yeah, I know not much has happened. I think they announced that new Sonic racing game and all that stuff. You guys know I'm a huge Sonic fan. To be honest with you, I'm probably not even going to get the game unless they actually add the IDW characters this time. So if I see some characters in there, because they have full ownership of characters like Tangle and Whisper and Bell. So if they put them in there, I would definitely get that game. If that's the case, that they put in the IDW comic characters. And I already see they got Sage in there, and they got Zaz. To my surprise, I was like, oh snap, Sage, Zaz are in there. That's pretty cool. Is that the new Sonic game? Some more character IDW stuff. Or even Surge and Kid, that would be pretty cool too. To have them on there. I would definitely get the game then, but otherwise that I think I'm good. I want another Shadow game. I finished Shadow Generations months ago. Yeah, or 2 months ago. Yeah. I kind of finished it up myself too, like probably like last month or so. Yeah, it's a pretty nice game and stuff. Again, if it wasn't for the Shadow DLC, I would have gotten the new Sonic Generations, to be honest with you, because I've already played and beaten Sonic Generations so many times. So it's like, what's the point? But I do want to play more of the Shadow stuff later, though. We need a new fighting game rather than another boring Mario Kart ripoff. Yeah, I would love to see them bring back Sonic the Fighters, though. That would be pretty cool. And then, Team Sonic Overdrive, that didn't exactly turn out so well back when it came out and stuff. Yeah, I remember I had it, I played it, and then I traded it back in after I think I completed the story and all that stuff. I was like, all right. Because I just don't play racing games like that, to be honest. I'm more of a fighting game, platformer type guy myself. But anyways, that's the end of the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. Any closing thoughts and stuff, or any questions before I go? I was also thinking about showing off that fan project, actually, that Power Rangers fan project that Darrell Miller he's a friend of Jay Leno's and stuff. He did a Power Rangers fan film and stuff called Power Rangers Demorph. But since it's getting late, I kind of figured, all right, well, I'm probably doing a little bit too much at this point, but maybe I'll probably cover it another time. But I would definitely let me put Storm Corey HQ's channel here. Corey HQ, because yeah, he's a cool dude, and he's really like, it's cool listening to him and stuff, like hearing his thoughts and stuff, and what he thinks about, like, you know, characters like Storm and Starfire and stuff, because he really comes from a place of like passion and whatnot, and he's like a legit fan and everything. So if you guys want to hear more about like Storm and Starfire, I would recommend checking out this channel right here. Oh yeah, and here's another better thing too. Great stream. I enjoyed your thoughts and comics and other anime nerdy stuff. I appreciate a phone nerd. Thank you, SSJ, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah. Ashes, you got anything, any closing thoughts before I head out and stuff? If you're still there. I'm going to try to channel in my inner Pole real quick, because a friend of mine was recommending that I should do this. Have you ever heard of a graphic novel called Never Ending Summer? Nope, never heard of it. Yeah, never really heard of that though. That's interesting. Well, you know, I'm not really that interested, but it could be. Who knows? You got an impression on him. Yeah, I definitely got a reaction out of him too. I was like, God damn. I was not expecting, like I wasn't even like, yeah. I was like, well, I mean, I just said, nah, they're not really based off of that. And then he just went full on, just yeah. But anyways, if you guys want to support me with some tips and stuff or whatever, not saying it's essential, but here's my Cash App. Got to channel in my inner Pole, right? But anyways, yeah. But that's the end of my stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's been like 2 hours and stuff. I'm definitely gonna rewatch the stream because it was funny reacting to it just as much. It was funny like rewatching that stream. I had to rewatch that stream of his like at least 4 or 5 times because it's just so stupid and hilarious to listen to. But yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. This is John Low Fox and I'm out. Peace. And until we meet again.